Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2020. Welcome to all of you. You know, it has been months and months since I have done a mail or comments video here. Number one, I've been way too busy to take time and go through and try to pull everything together find the most frequently asked questions and put them in there. And yeah, that's about it. I've just been too busy to do it, and I've been doing more and more things real time, so they're sort of self-explanatory. But over the last couple of weeks in particular, I have had requests to address certain things on the channel. So today I'm having the 5-question Q&A here, and he sort of agglomerates questions that are asked quite frequently, and especially more so recently. So, number one, recently the Mustang Ranch open mic, when I was rolling down the road, I didn't know the camera part was off, but the microphone was still recording, and the message that the question's been asked to me, what was it conveying in your mind, this open mic experience? And of course, that was after we got turned. We never got into the Mustang Ranch. We got turned away at the gate, and I'm not here to go into reasons. The reasons won't be known, despite what anybody will claim to know. They really don't know. But what it meant to convey to me was the culmination of frustration in dealing with a subject and dealing with a place to visit that I have absolutely zero interest in, brothels and things like that. And my frustration came from a point. This was supposed to be my couple days off to relax, have some fun in Reno, do some chooching, which I did. I had a great time. It was a wonderful trip. But to have it inflicted on me that I've dreamed my whole life of this thing, and now I only came to Reno to go to brothels or explore the food scene, as Elvis claimed, was it was stupid to me, because the whole point of the trip was I needed a break, and you could be supportive and do the things that I wanted to do without pushing yourself to the fore. And I believe that frustration of mine is what bubbled over. Now, in terms of being twisted, it's not surprising. You get into the same thought bubbles with the same people on a daily. It's same old, same old. As I've always said, to a person with a hammer, everything will look like a nail. They don't get too much traction on their critique because people know me too well on YouTube. So what was meant to convey, which came through brilliantly, was a high degree of frustration. Number two, do attacks on gender or physical appearance ever bother you? Well, I'm not super thin-skinned, but of course we all have feelings and things. But it's interesting to me that and as you learn, if you ever study logic and argumentation, and if you ever study courtroom procedures, or if you ever want to make a point, what you don't hear in those proceedings is somebody being attacked on the basis of their physical appearance, their gender, things of that nature. When you drop down to attacks on a person's appearance, a person's gender, a person's sexual orientation, a person's political orientation, their skin color, you're participating in, you're engaged in a logical fallacy called ad hominem attack, and it carries logically no weight whatsoever. It may make the arguer fear well, but in terms of weighting in the mind of rational thinking people, it doesn't carry any weight. And when you further couple in the fact that some of the people that engage in the most sustained attacks are ones themselves that don't dare to appear on camera because of their own physical appearance. And in a way, that's kind of sad, and that's another thing that sort of undermines their argument of attacking people on physical appearance and all that, because they themselves would not dare to go on an open camera, okay? It also never strikes them that it never crosses their mind that they're in the very small minority of people that think that the way that they do. And they're always baffled by the fact that they can't seem to get any traction on affecting a channel where somebody is being positive on a daily basis and making people happy, making people laugh. And I can understand that, but I think it's truly amazing that they never stop to consider that they're the problem of what makes YouTube sometimes the cesspool that it is these days. Here's number 3. What are your thoughts on e-begging? You know, e-begging, you know, we've already been down the path of GoFundMes and all that, and it's something that I will never participate in or host a GoFundMe again, because so many of them turned out to be scams and BS. It's like, what was the point of that? But as far as the tools that YouTube puts at your disposal on the channel, and this is why I have to scratch my head at some of the critics here. YouTube allows you to have the Patreon, which I will never have. It's just not my thing. I don't want to create exclusive content, but it's certainly permissible. PayPal, which YouTube allows you to have. And of course, Super Chat and monetization if you are eligible. So to me, what's the most interesting thing is the people that have been the most strident or the most outspoken in their complaints about e-begging, they never ever do a video and address YouTube and complain to YouTube about the YouTube making these tools available. In other words, they'd rather blame the player than blame the game, I guess, which is pretty common. And I think it really frustrates them that they know that YouTube has designed their features to work this way, and there's really nothing that they can do about it except to attack the people that choose to use them. I keep mine very low key. I prefer the text-to-speech because it's fun and it allows people to engage within the live streams, which I think is a real hoot. But I do not believe that I would be comfortable blasting or having my PayPal information across the screen. But I do believe other people certainly have the right to do what they want within the context of the freedoms that YouTube allows. Okay. I've been asked this a lot in its last 2 weeks in light of what happened. I'm just going to address it once and be done. You know, there's a rumor going around about lending money to Kat. So the question is, did Kat borrow money from you? How much? And did you get paid back? Well, in December of 2018, Kat was in a very strapped way. And I, you know, it was a significant, I decided to step up in response to a personal text message that I got from her. And in her time of dire need, to step forward at that moment and provide some funds that she needed, I imagine, for survival or paying the rent or whatever. And, you know, I was glad to do that. It put a little bit of strain on at Christmas time, but yes, I did lend money. It was a 4-figure loan. I'm not going to itemize the amounts that it was. No, I have not been paid back or heard any communications. But, you know, in light of what's going on now, who knows? The reality is, out of probably 15 people that I have made loans to, and significant loans to, on YouTube over the last 5 years, only one person ever paid me back of those 15 people. Only one. Only one person. And it was a person that I gifted the money to, never asked for it back. And we know that that is Vegas fiction, and I'm very appreciative. Came out of the blue, and it really, really shocked me. I don't know what will happen. You know, my philosophy is when I give, my expectations are so low. But if I had borrowed some money from somebody, of course it would rankle me. It would weigh in my mind, but there's a lot going on in that whole situation. And I'm not one to come out and Twitters and tweets and things like that. But since I was asked, I give the answer there. Yes, of course, I hope that I get my money back. And then the most often asked question, why is the van build so slow? Are you doing it on purpose for views? Why do you think some people complain when you go live? Well, I think the main problem is that they produce content that nobody really wants to see unless they're talking about other people. Drama will always draw a crowd, and it's the low-hanging fruit of YouTube. But it's impossible to sustain and grow a channel in a meaningful way on YouTube because you will not leave or produce content that anybody will want to see, or YouTube will put in an algorithm in the future. So you won't know it, but the algorithm will never advance you within the ranks of YouTube because you're not, although YouTube allows you to upload, you're not fitting the critique of things that the things that they want to do. And numbers always bear things out, whether it's in Kitchen Stadium, whether it's baking inside, whether it's having evening hangouts. People enjoy the content that I bring. So naturally, it's going to bring out a raft of people that get bitter about competing, get bitter about views and people not watching their content. To me, it's like there's a million people bigger than I am on YouTube. A recent friend of mine, Jay Hayes, can pack 1,100 people into a hangout and get 10, 15,000 views on a video. I don't berate the guy or begrudge the guy. I say, hey man, you're a paragon of success on YouTube, and it's nice to know and give a big way to go, man. And it's great to see people succeed. Well, on the Boyd, things are always a little opposite of the way that they would be in the world. So it's not unusual that things fall under the critique hammer the way they do. As far as the van build going slow, I'm one gal with 61-year-old hands. I do the very best I can in muddy conditions of having hand infections and other things. And all in all, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. I'll try to get back to more regularly scheduled Q&As, and have yourself a great Tuesday.